I'm ready to go when you guys are.
Oh, we're ready.
All
Well,
right, yeah. If Father Aberoth pops in, then we can focus over on him. It's basically you three. No, well, Gus and Boa, you two are together. Island was with you, but
Just say she stayed on the ship.
yeah, that's fine. And
yeah,
then Elizabeth, you were on the ship. You were just getting ready to leave.
yeah.
Let's do a little recap here. Let's see. Okay. We had Elizabeth. You were on the ship. You just did your blood test to make sure you didn't have your STD, which you're safe. Good job. Nothing transmitted there. You rolled a 12 for checking up a local contact, so we'll dive into that in just a second, see what you come up with. Father Aberoth was headed around the city just to take notes and basically scout out the city to see if it's worth blowing up, basically. And Bowie, Gus, and Island 6, you guys were headed into the docking station to meet with Yasmin. So, let's say Island 6 stayed back. If that's cool with you guys, then I don't have to try and...
Yeah.
I hate
I'm
to NPC another player just because I don't feel like I could really do what they're going to want to do.
Right. Could say that she stayed there to have her robot suit scrub the carpet.
Charge. It's recharging.
Recharging.
So, Elizabeth, you're actually on the ship at the moment, but just before you headed off. So if you needed her to do something or look something up or whatever, we could go that route. So.
Yeah. I mean, I guess she could, since I rolled criminal, knowledge criminal, and I probably culture criminal and used her as sort of a, hey, can you get a, directory of people's names so I can get in contact with them?
Right.
She's like, of course, meat bag.
All right. So let's see. I have a little introductory thingy I'll read for each of you as we go through. So, Elizabeth, let's see. With a sigh of relief that your blood test comes back negative for the potential catching of a various STD, which is a space-touch disease, not a sexually transmitted one, you take some time to gather your thoughts and decide what to do next. Your 4 other companions skip ship quickly, it seems. Bowie, Gus, and the female AI headed to the docking station. Obviously, she stayed back, though. Yeah, they're headed back to talk with Yasmin, hoping to score a job or two to earn some money. As for Father Aberth, he walked around the station of base, slowly taking in some sights, and he eventually wandered off the path towards the main heart of the city. For you, when you roll your culture criminal, you're able to kind of, go through your thoughts and think about who you know that's been here or whatever. So at what point in time you were here, and you met a man who goes by the name of Asim Jahari. He was a bigwig for a company that's called Cerebral Infrastructures. Was a bit of a chemist, a biochemist. He worked on a lot of different medicines to try to help people. That's what his big focus was. After you met him, he actually always wore a mask, like the plague mask that they wore back in medieval times, kind of looked like a bird's nose type thing.
Plague doctor mask.
Yep. He always wore one of those and tells you it was because he was when his family and him crashed when they were coming in to dock at this planet, and he lost his wife and his daughter. He lived through it, but he was burned very badly, so he always wears this plague mask to kind of cover up his face so people can't, be scared of him or whatever. But he also uses it as a voice box because his vocal cords were damaged. So when you know this guy, all you ever see him in was basically like his lab suit and this plague doctor mask. He took you in for quite a while in between jobs when you were at this place, or at this planet called Diomedes, right? Yeah, Diomedes.
I think it's Diomedes 2?
I believe so, yeah. So he took you in for a while. He was once fairly well off. He ended up falling on hard times after his docking crash. At that point, he lost his job at the Cerebral Infrastructures, and he kind of went out on his own. He took you in for a while, showed you some different medical practices that he knew, how to make some different drugs, both illegal and not, depending on the situation. He was a really good guy, and he wanted to help people, but he wasn't above making some illegal drugs just to make money to try and get by. He did what he had to do to support himself as well as you at the time when you were staying with him. Let's see. So when you look up his name in this database, it pops up, and it shows that he's actually been missing for the past 3 weeks. There is no record of where he went or what happened with him. The only things in there is, as the report goes that Eileen is able to bring up, is that he was actually making a name for himself helping the homeless and the street urchins on the city. He was various lepers and the people that were diseased. He was fixing and helping them get to the hospitals. He was healing them through his different medical practices. That he made some major breakthrough that he was helping fix some disease that was running rampant on the street. And the last he was seen was he was helping an old elderly homeless man outside of the CNC Banking on West 42nd Street.
42nd Street?
Yep. I got a little thing.
What's his...
Hold on just a second. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It'll pop right up on your screen in a second. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right. You can browse through that, and I'll give a recap of the others while you read that.
Hang on.
Yep.
I only got the picture.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. I'll fix that.
Also, I spelled his name wrong. Okay.
I was going to say close it out and reopen it. You should be good.
Yeah, okay.
All right, see, so Bowie, Gus, and Island. Well, okay, Island's not with you. So Bowie and Gus. As you move down the street towards the docking station, you're greeted with the huge flashing billboards, Videotrons covering the entire sides of the buildings and a bustle of people. Think of it like a futuristic Times Square. There's just huge billboards everywhere for plays and media and propaganda and products and stuff like that. It's just flashing everywhere. Neon lights. There's gambling casinos along every street corner, brothels. There's a huge black and white birds that are soaring overhead. They have like huge pelican-type beaks. They kind of look like a mix between like a seagull and a condor sort of bird. Every time somebody drops something, they like swoop down and snap it out of the air to fight over it to eat. You step through the main doors of the station, of this docking station. An older couple, as they walk by, they kind of nod at you. And Gus, when you look back at him, you can see that the old man's staring at Bowie kind of like he recognizes them or something, but they keep walking and they kind of like merge into the crowd behind you. Up ahead, you can see Yasmin is dealing with a customer at her desk, and when she looks over at you, her eyes just, they open up wide, and she has like this gasping look on her face. The room, this metro station type building that you're in, it's all done up like an old vintage 1940s building, has marble flooring. The walls are all done in like a gold and black wallpaper. There's big glass chandeliers. And right in the middle of this building is a great big jukebox. It's all made out of wood, and it has old record discs in it that people are standing around like looking at as some sort of fascination type thing. Okay, let's see. Bowie, you spot Yasmin almost immediately since you're the one that knows her most definitely. She has white hair. I think I got a picture over here actually. Yeah, let me swap you guys over. You guys are down towards the bottom. I have little tokens, but she has like white hair. She wears like a black and red dress. She's always very arrogant looking, even though she's a fairly nice lady. She has a very professional business demeanor about her. As soon as she sees you guys walk through the door, she like shoves past the client that she's working with and runs over. She grabs Bowie, she grabs you by the chest, and she's like shoving you into this room. And she's like, "What the hell are you guys doing? You can't be in here right now. What's going on?"
The hell are you doing?
So she shoves you in here. She closes these meeting doors. You're in like a room that's a conference room. You can see the desk, and she drags one of the chairs over to the corner of the room, and she gets up and she turns the little security camera over to the side, so it's like looking across the room. She's like, "You guys are wanted on every TV station in this sector. If you guys are seen, the cops are going to be here in no time at all." She's like, "Bowie, what the hell did you do?"
Well, apparently I got framed.
And she's like, "Well, I'll trust that from you. Who are these people you're with?"
They're my crew.
Let's kind of look around corners, make sure
He's my
nobody's
crew.
coming around.
He's your crew. No,
I
you
just look at the one other person.
no, there's nobody out there at the moment besides just your regular clientele or whatever. And she's, she stares at you guys for a few minutes and she shakes his head. She's like, "You're wanted for the death of your parents. You've been across every news station, every broadcasting station in the sector." She says, "If anybody sees you or, gains information that you're here, you guys are toast." And she looks at her compad for a few minutes. She's like, "The money you sent, was that encrypted? Or did you use your credits?"
Well, it wasn't yours, right?
Those weren't my credits. I was broke, so it isn't mine. Unless they've been looking at my accomplices' credit
She
balance
says-
as well.
When she points to Gus, she's like, they've had his face, although I think the guy on TV is a little more handsome. But yeah, she says, and they showed another man, looked like one of those crazy priests, those bastards. I don't know why you're traveling with him anyway. And another lady, I don't know who she was either, but you guys have been on every station. She says, you guys are going to have to either disguise yourself or get out of here or do something, because between all the security cameras and the people that are here, and she points down the street, you can see like through the windows of this building. On the outside, when you're coming to the building, you can see what their mirror reflected on the outside, but inside you can see out. And she points down, and you can see like the billboards. Every now and then, you'll have like a news broadcasting thing up on the main billboard, and you see like your faces go by as wanted. And she says,
Okay.
"You guys got to do something." She says, "You can't stay here. They'll be searching for you in no time at all."
All right, well, we have no money to get off planet. So, are there any jobs that we could pick up where we would have our faces covered, and we could deal with somebody that we could trust? Or
She says, "Well," and she kind of like opens up the door and peeks around a little bit to make sure nobody's right next to the door. Whenever she closes it, she says, "I could probably get you in touch for a few jobs. Are you still running goods?"
I just nod.
She says, "Well, I know you ran a few things for me. Boy, what did you run for her at one point in time?"
Probably booze.
Booze.
As this is going on, I'm gonna like use my compad to contact the other guys and say, wear disguises. Don't show your face to cameras or.
All right. So yeah, Elizabeth, you and Eileen can see this come across the main board while you're working, looking up your contact. You can see Gus's message come back to make sure you're wearing a disguise if you go out into the city.
Oh, yeah, because that's what I have on hand.
Right. So Yasmin nods. She's like, "We have a warehouse down. It's down on 41st Street." She says, "We could probably have some people get in there tonight. If you want to do a few runs for me, I'm sure we can work out a deal. Of course, you owe me still 1,000 credits, but I'll let that slide if you can get this done, and I'll pay you some extra." She says, "We've had a lot of trouble lately with gang across on the other far side of town. They seem to be raiding a lot of the warehouses, stealing goods and stuff, and I'm afraid that they're going to get in the warehouse I'm working for. So if we can get that out of there as soon as possible, I'm sure we could pay well."
All right.
I'm
And then the
up for
down
it if
low.
you are.
I'm always up for it. I want to get off of this planet. Everything's so expensive. $30 for a hamburger? You fucking kidding me?
It's a
If you're
good
lucky.
hamburger.
I just like go on a rant about how expensive everything is.
And she kind of stops you for a minute. She's like, "Okay, what about this guy? Is he trustworthy? You known him for a while?"
This one? Oh, hell no. He's not trustworthy, but he'll
What?
work for me. So,
He doesn't know.
He'll do
what he's
the
talking
job.
about.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Elizabeth, what would you like to do after reading that?
Reading the information.
Yeah,
Well,
that just
Well, obviously, with the information I currently have, I know more than likely. See, the problem is that Asim is a good, air quote, good doctor to my financially motivated doctor. Which means I do it for money and he does it out of altruism. So more than likely, my thought process is he got into something he shouldn't have and now he needs help. And since he's sort of like my teacher / sort of parental figure that isn't really my parental figure, I have to go find him or at least find out what's happened to him. And since Gus has just told me I need to wear a disguise. I'm gonna ransack my outfits and get a very elaborate. I don't actually have disguise as an item, but could
Like, throw a scarf around your face or something.
There's plenty of stuff on the ship as well. And this is a very Egyptian sort of country, state, or city, I guess, if you want to call it that. It's basically one big city. So, I mean, walking around with, a scarf over your face or anything of that sort would be, it's pretty normal.
I think I would just wear a shawl. Shawl? Yeah, I would just say I could wear a hijab, but do I have that?
Yeah, on our way here, did we see people wearing, like, the face masks, since this place is pretty Middle Eastern inspired? Would there be, like, sand and stuff like that moving around?
Yeah, the little bit of information about the planet. Let me swap you guys over to the map. So, the city that you're in is called Damas. It's a great big city. Think of it like almost like a New York City mixed with Vegas. There's bright lights and gambling everywhere. It's a very high-end resort, obviously, because a burger costs 300 credits. And it is basically left, the planet itself, Diomedes, is basically a broken down husk of a planet. There, at one point in time it was lush, but through the wars and nukes over the centuries, it's basically just one big wasteland. What's left is the city that they've built up, all the rich people. And they built this all up. They have water and food all imported in from other sectors and other countries and planets, which is why everything costs so much. On the outskirts of this city are basically little hovels of civilization that are left. They all cling to the side of this great big city, basically living off all of the waste and the refuse that comes from it. And outside of that is basically just wasteland. There's great big things called sand apes that run around. Let me see what else is there. Oops.
Oh, yeah, I just read sand yetis. I was like,
Yep,
what?
sand
How do we gotta
yetis.
find some-
Outside the city walls, an aggressive and brutal landscape dominated by sand yetis, shard spiders, aggressive tribes of primitive humanoid aliens known as hive walkers. Most of the plant life is what's left on the outside is pretty much dead. In the city itself most of it is fake or organic, like prosthetics.
Yeah.
And here is, if you guys are on the outside of the city, it basically looks like that, with one great big city and then all these little hovels that live on the outside, living off the refuse and what's left of the city itself.
So this is like Space Dubai.
Exactly.
I was thinking a giant Hoover town surrounded by a not Hoover town. But yeah, let's go with that. Dubai actually works better. Dubai or,
Yep.
Okay.
Miami.
Miami. But yeah,
That is pretty
the
bad
people on the
place.
outside are basically just not really homeless, but they're like the lowest class possible, even though in most other places they'd probably be middle class, if not better. But here they're just like the scum of the earth, basically. And all the rich people shove them out, and they live on the outsides of the city. And then
Capitalism.
and that is a map of the city. You can ignore where your things are at the moment. And everything over here on the outside of the city is all these little hovels. The main city has that great big wall that's built around it, and there's only one main track in and then the one track out, which the track itself is not used anymore. However, it used to go to a mining operation outside of the city, and then that collapsed, and just the remains are left there.
All right. Well, I'm going to put on a hijab because that may be the fashion of this planet I'm getting at, and it's also it's not like just layers upon layers of clothes, and I can at least cover my feature. Don't know about the men of the group.
Yeah, I'd probably
But-
wear one of those checkered scarves over my head, I guess.
It's-
Sunglasses?
that doesn't look suspicious at all.
Just get like some temporary tattoos covering half my face.
A Hello Kitty on your cheek.
They'll
Oh
never
no,
suspect
it's
me.
raining by disguise. But yeah, I'm gonna wear a hijab, which I conveniently have, and I'm going to start moving towards You said the CNC. It said the CNC Bank.
Yeah, CNC banking, which is basically like the big banking of the sector, which is where most payments kind of process through at one point or another. It's like the Bank of America for the world.
Except Bank of America isn't used. Okay. Do I know if there's a homeless shelter near the bank?
I don't know. Do
From
you?
the information I got, or no? Or should I?
Probably, being that he wanted to help out. I'm assuming. Did you ever go out with him to try and help out these people, or?
I'd assume that since I learned from him, I would probably got dragged along, helping him stitch up some of the homeless people wandering around. Probably, the homeless people that meandered into the city and were physically abused because they were in the city. And, on occasion we'd go around. Asim would help them out, do what he can. Because, he couldn't. He would try to do everything, and I'd have to eventually go, like, you can't do everything.
Right.
That was one of our... So I would assume there might have been not too far away from the bank as a form of, political relations, maybe a homeless shelter, but it's lip service. But I would figure out that's just lip service just to get the bank. It's like, we care about your future, so we made this homeless shelter, but we only occasionally care about it.
Right. All right. So, Island's going to stay back at the ship in case anything happens or whatever. She can report back to her. If you guys need her to roll anything, like if you're trying to look stuff up, she'll be right there to, check things and do what you need if you need to get back with her. Elizabeth, as soon as you step off the ship, you can, it goes down into like the docking station, which is where number 2 is on this map right here. Looks kind of like a ship. You come out of the main ship bay and you start to walk down, and right at the end of where your ramp is, there's 2 men. They're both wearing like long trench coats, and both have a monocle. They have a black top hat on, and they're just standing there staring at you. As you start to walk down towards them, they kind of step up just enough to get to the base of your ramp, so that if you tried to go past them, you'd have to actually like push past them.
Do I recognize them?
Nope. They look exactly alike, as if they're like identical twins. Both the same height, blonde hair, a little bit of a goatee. Fairly average build, maybe like 6 foot, if that. Real thin, kind of rail looking. But as soon as you just come in a little bit, they kind of hold their hands up. They're like, "Miss, you need to come with us."
Combat.
Well, yeah, obviously. I'm going to... Because I don't recognize them.
No.
And I don't know if I have any sort of information that would recognize them. Would I? I have information criminal and spacer. Would that be enough to identify them either as lawmen or
Let me take a look
some
here.
sort of...
See if we have anything in the culture. You could try spacer. Criminal would probably work too if you want to. Either one would work, whichever one you want to use. Culture, yeah, either one of those might give you a little bit of info.
Alright, and that's an intelligence. Submit.
And see if you're rolling as good as you were last week. Or the week before. 7. So yeah, these guys, they don't look too familiar. You've heard story about the people. They're called trenchies. They're assumed to be government officials of some sort, but they kind of work outside the bounds of the government. Not a whole lot is known about these guys. You're not able to recall very much anyway.
All right. I'm going, since obviously it's come to this, do I know if I want to go with them?
That's up to you.
Is there an athletics? There is, but I am crap at it. Darn it. I should not have made strength my dump stat. Alright. I'm going to fire off a quick message to... Actually, maybe I shouldn't, because then they'll track you guys. I will fire off a message to Eileen.
All right. As soon as you
Message.
look down at your compad, you see like both of their faces staring back at you on the compad. And they're like, "Miss, you shouldn't be doing that. Come with us."
All right.
So when you look back up, they just kind of stare at you. They're completely emotionless, just a very stoic professional. No smile, grin, nothing.
All right. I know. All right, boys. All right. I know when the Peruvian ratworm has me by the tail. And I just raise my hands, show them I'm not armed. I am, but
They don't seem to have any care if you're armed at all. They don't even bother patting you down or looking you over or nothing.
All right. Well, that's thank goodness. I don't think I might have cold hands. All right. I go with them quietly.
All right. So they're going to lead you down the docks, and they just kind of like start weaving in between the city. From when the time you were here before, you know that they would be headed towards where this banking was in 42nd Street. They're kind of taking a very off-route path and down, side streets and stuff, kind of staying out of the main populace, but that's where you're headed.
So I'm actually headed towards where I'm supposed to go.
Where you wanted to go anyway, yeah. So Gus and Bowie, as you guys are talking and standing there with Yasmin, every now and then you can glance outside. You can see like more and more people are starting to gather around outside this building. They're all facing kind of like, I guess it would be to like the north of where you're at, or no, northeast. It'd be towards the east of the window that you can look out of. Every now and then they're pointing at something.
Towards us?
No, they're pointing like towards the east, like down the street. But you can't quite, you get over there to the window, and if you look out or whatever, you can't quite see with the peripheral vision of what they're pointing at or what they're...
Yasmin, you got something that I could use to hide my face?
Me too.
And him, I guess. Sunglasses, maybe. Maybe like a head scarf. Would that look weird? I'm not from this planet, so...
She says, let me go see what I got. So she opens up the door slowly, kind of peeks around, makes sure nobody's right there, and she closes the door. And she's gone for a few minutes. When she comes back, you can see there's like a light knot on the door outside. You can hear a man's voice talking with her. She's telling him to go and do something somewhere. Let's see, what have we got here? So yeah, you can hear Yasmin talking to this guy. It's like a very, very deep voice, like a very baritone voice. Just saying... Well, they haven't been here yet, sir, but they should be within the next hour. Your meeting, Dr. Pitfield delayed your meeting by an hour, so if you want to finish off your lunch, I'll have him call you when he gets here. And you can hear them talking back and forth as his face kind of drowns off, and she opens up the door and comes back in. She got a couple different outfits, some sunglasses, a scarf. She said you'd look like an idiot with it, but it would cover up your features until you can get something better. She offers to paint your face, if you want some makeup or something. She has a drag outfit if you want, but beyond that...
Nah, I'm good.
It's just puts the perfect disguise. No one would ever
No one suspects the clown. Guys, you're idiots. They're looking for soldiers.
And what are they... Why are we looking for clowns?
They never look for clowns out here. Anyway, I put like the sunglasses on, and I guess I change into some different clothes. I'd put my trademark like flight jacket in my backpack, but yeah, I change into more local clothing.
Okay,
just like wrap the scarf around my neck and do a little fancy little bow in front.
Like an ascot.
Yeah.
Guess perfect disguise.
Yeah.
So
put
yeah,
some sunglasses on too.
Once we are perfectly disguised, I guess I'd go out and see what everybody's looking and pointing at.
All right, so as you guys head outside of this building, as soon as you get out there, you can see like people yelling. Off to your right down the street, you can see like several military vehicles rolling up the street, like a large armored car and a couple police vehicles of some sort. And then down, when you look down to your left, you can see like this great big, looks like a huge dump truck, and it has a whole bunch of people piled into the back of it, and they kind of look like a rebel group or something. You can tell that they're not people from the city itself, probably on the outskirts of the city. They're kind of dressed in rags and like ragtag army. They got like old assault 40Ks and stuff as weapons, not compared to the police's laser rifles and stuff, but it's like an old rebel group, and they kind of like coming together towards, at each other down the street. They're not fighting or anything, but you can see that they're kind of like staring down one another. Gus or Bowie, I need one of you guys to... Actually, I need both of you to roll me a 1die4.
Okay. I got it for... No, that's it.
It says it's 3. And
I got a 4.
okay, you guys are good for now. I never noticed. Is there a disguise or some sort of skill like that?
There's
I
stealth.
hope not, because their disguises are stupid.
I'd assume it'd fall under
It's
stealth. Then.
enough to like hide it from people who wouldn't be specifically looking for us, I think.
Yeah,
Like
it could be
passerby who might have watched the news or like
maybe.
specifically.
You
looking.
could roll persuade or stealth. I would think those
Yeah,
make
maybe
sense.
So I was thinking probably
Security.
follow one of those two if needed. Okay. So as these two are coming together, Gus, you can see like a tap on your shoulder, and when you look over, it's this old man that you saw when you were coming into the building. And he kind of points down and he's like, "Can you believe this shit?"
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Those scum, he's like, every week they start this crap, and, you know, I'm getting sick of it. I hope the cops just kill them all. And you can see, like, people start backing up off the street and kind of, like, pressing up against the different buildings as these two vehicles are starting to come down the street towards each other. Every now and then there'll be, like, a firing shot in the sky, but they seem to be having, like, some sort of standoff between each other.
So, can we like overhear any rumors about what exactly is happening?
You could ask the old guy beside you.
Yeah, ask them. See, how far do you think they're gonna go this time?
He says, "Well, were you here last time when this happened?"
No, what happened last time? I missed it, I think.
He says, you missed a hell of a good one. Killed 47 of them bastards last time. Said the cops, they had enough of it, I think. And this time I believe they brought us explosives, but we'll have to just watch and see how many limbs we see flying. He's like, "We got a pool running. You want in?"
Am I like near him?
Yeah, if you want to be.
You get a point in the
Yeah, I'm like on the other side of him. I'm just like, you're oddly calm about this.
He says, this is like the Super Bowl of our century. He's like, he's like, "You haven't been here a while, have you?"
No.
He's like, "I thought so. I seen you when you walked in the building." He said, "You looked a little familiar, but..." And he kind of eyeing you for a few more minutes.
I look familiar.
He says,
I
"Yeah."
haven't been here in years, buddy.
He says,
This is all new to me.
He's like, "Yeah, I suppose so. You probably just look like somebody I met or something." So as this is going, you can see like the newscasts up on the screens. All they're showing like different views of this little conflict that's getting ready to go on around you. In between that, broadcaster comes up. She's talking about she's calling them space junkies. So she's talking about how these space junkies have entered the city again, and how there's a throwdown, and that people should get back off the streets, and that the cops have this under control. And in between that, there's like a blank on the screen. It like goes black for a few seconds, and then it pops back up, and you see this man, very big built. He's bald head. Wears like red sunglasses, and he's kind of staring out across. He says, "I believe we have some escapees on our planet." He says, "If any of you see these men and these women, you should be calling the police immediately." And each of your faces kind of flash across the screen for a few seconds, and then the screen goes black again, and then it pops back up with this news lady.
As soon as I see her face, I'm going to try to distract the guy so he's looking the opposite direction.
Nice. Let's see. What do you got to roll for that?
Persuasion, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
maybe
Persuade. Unless you have a better way you want to do it.
No, just kind of like, scoot around him so you'd have to follow my face to
Okay.
keep talking to me.
I don't know where my cheat sheets went.
We're in like Times Square, so like first it's on one screen, and then you like move them over, and it's on another screen. It's like, oh shit, just gotta keep moving them around.
Just go around in circles.
Fuck. Too many monitors.
As long as he's focused on me, it should help anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So, skill level. He seems to be pretty interested in what's going on up there on the screen, more so about the little conflict that's getting ready to start than the actual news broadcast, which has probably been across the screen like 100 times in the past few minutes. So it's only going to be a difficulty of 8.
Okay. That's what's charisma.
Yeah, I think that fits best.
Okay.
Can I attempt to assist him?
Sure. Go for it. Same persuade.
Yeah, I'd kind of like stand side by side with him and like try to catch his attention as well to
Okay.
help him. Charisma. You can roll with assist by beat a 7.
Yep.
Come on. Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
I should have rolled.
Oh, I forgot to add the
Did you
one.
do it with assist? All
So that
right.
would be a
So
7.
that would be a 7. Difficulty of 8, though. All right, so as you guys are talking to him, he hushes. He's like, "Look, they're gonna talk about it." And so when he looks over, it's this lady talking, and then it blinks to the screen for a few seconds. And you can see he's like all annoyed because he's missing whatever it is she's saying or whatever. And he's like bitching and complaining. He turns over and he's like, "Can you bleep?" And like you can see like the recognition in his eyes as he looks at you, Bowie. And he's like, "You're on the screen." You can see him like backing up. And then he starts yelling. He's like, "This is them! This is them!"
We should go. And then I like grab Gus and kind of try to put my head down and go into the crowd.
Insert yakety sax music.
All right.
I'll just kind of brush him off. Yeah, you're crazy. I don't want to deal with you anymore. And just skedaddle.
Yeah, we're not like sprinting. Like I
Just
just want
trying
to
to
try to get
blend
lost
in.
the-
We're not guilty of anything. We're just leaving because your accusations are so crazy.
So yeah, as he's yelling, that's them. He's getting more and more people to look, and you can see like other people are starting to kind of recognize what's going on. Take your pick. Either one of you can roll a luck save. Who's it going to be?
I mean, we both have luck, like decent luck, right?
Yeah, mine's
Ah.
14.
Yeah, mine's 14 as well. I'll roll
Go
it,
for
I
it.
guess.
I'm going to go for it.
Fuck it, it's my skin on the line if I fail.
Nice.
I pass.
All right, so yeah, you're able to kind of between Wolverine and slip down an alley, and you kind of come out on the other side. You can hear people yelling and stuff, and they're kind of like pointing in your direction, but you're far enough ahead that you could probably slip away and get in somewhere or whatever. So as you turn the side around the side of this docking station or whatever, the door opens up and it's Yasmin again. She grabs you by the chest again, but when she's like ripping you inside the door. I'm
God
assuming.
damn, though, disguises sucked.
So let's see. You guys are gonna be.
You have a hair clipper so I can shave my head. Maybe that'll help
Oh my god, that's not the problem.
shave my eyebrows.
Shave your
These
eyebrows.
sunglasses didn't work at all.
Wait, are you guys back in the bank?
Yeah, so you're up on the other side of the building now.
Oh my god.
And,
So
she
you
pulled you through the doors.
literally only got to the other side.
And she, when you get in there, she's just shaking her. She's like, "I told you to get the fuck out of here. What the hell are you doing?" She's like, "You guys need to go. You need to hide out somewhere, at least until nightfall. I'll meet you, here at the same spot. But you got to do something. You can't be running around."
Gus, you know
Yeah.
anywhere we can hide out? I might remember someplace, but it's been a while.
Yeah, I think I've heard of a safe house. Let me see. I think it was on the corner of Dunsbury and 7th.
I'll aid you.
That might be a different planet, though. I'm not quite sure.
That might have been the other city.
Fuck, why don't I just roll?
You're rolling
Goddamn.
awesome.
Got
This is
12.
culture criminal,
so
right?
you are-
You're
Fucking
like the
sis-
Elizabeth of this session.
Don't say that. Go get space AIDS.
This would be intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Assisted 1.
9.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, you're able to recall a place to to get to at least and hold out for a little while. So you take some time, you kind of skip back through the back alleys of the city and around. On the back alleys of the city, you can see there's a lot of homeless people that have seemed to have been making their way into the city. They're covered up in the boxes and trash cans and trying to eke a living in all the little dark corners of the city. But once you get out to the streets, like crystal clean with rich people walking all about, they don't seem to have any interest in what's going on in these back alleys. And in some cases, you can see where some of these older, rich, very high classy type people will have like one of these homeless people like walking behind them carrying their bags and stuff, basically just making them slaves. When you're able to kind of take shelter in this little warehouse type room, Yasmin's hooked you up with some food and drink to at least get you by for a little while. So as you guys are sitting there talking and you look out, you see Yasmin walk by, or you see Elizabeth walk by with these two men in trench coats, and they kind of walk down the street and then down the alleyway.
Yeah, once I see them pass us, I wouldn't react, but I definitely follow them.
You follow?
Yeah.
Gus?
Yeah, I'm going along too.
All right. You guys are going to have to roll me stealth on your own.